everyone, and welcome. Today, we're tackling something that can be, well, kind of mysterious for a lot of job seekers. We're talking about resumes, but not just any resumes. We're diving into how to make yours really grab the attention of those applicant tracking systems. You know, those ATS things you hear about everywhere these days.
It's funny, right? We spend so much time thinking about the human side of job hunting, but before any human lays eyes on your resume, it's got to get past the robot gatekeeper first.
It's true. And to help us crack the code of these ATS-friendly resumes, we're tapping into the expertise of Amit Patel. What's really cool about Amit is that he's not just an ATS expert, he's actually built these systems and worked with job seekers to, navigate them.
Yeah, having that experience on both sides of the fence, that's got to be invaluable, knowing how these systems work from the inside out, but also understanding the challenges job seekers face.
Exactly. So to kick things off, Amit lays out a scenario that probably sounds pretty familiar. A company posts a job, right? And what happens? They get flooded with applications, hundreds, maybe even thousands. There's just no way a human being can sit there and carefully read through every single one.
No way, no how. It would be impossible. That's where the ATS swoops in to save the day. It's software designed to sift through all those applications, scanning for those keywords, the formatting, basically anything the company has programmed it to zero in on.
So it's like a first responder for resumes. It helps those hiring managers cut through the noise and focus on the ones that seem like, the best fit based on certain criteria.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And this is where Amit's insights become super relevant for us. Because he's built these systems, he knows exactly what they're looking for, and maybe more importantly, what they're not. And that's huge for us job seekers. If our resumes aren't optimized for ATS, it's like we're invisible.
Like our resumes are written in invisible ink, they might as well not even be there, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like that amazing book hidden on the bottom shelf in a library. You got to make it easy for the ATS to find you, to see how awesome you are.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we make our resumes jump out at these digital gatekeepers?
Amit breaks it down into 6 key elements of an ATS-friendly resume. First up is clear formatting. Basically, we're giving the ATS a clear roadmap to your experience. No fancy tables or columns, no images that might confuse the software, just a clean, easy-to-read layout.
So elegance and simplicity. No need to go crazy with design, right?
Exactly. Save the creativity for your cover letter. And that actually leads perfectly into the second point. Stick to those standard section headings. You know, the usual suspects, work experience, skills, education, all that good stuff. We want to make sure the ATS instantly knows what it's looking at.
So stick to what the ATS is expecting, the language it's programmed to look for. Don't try to get too clever because it could backfire. It's all about making it easy for the ATS to find what it needs without getting lost in the weeds, right?
Right. And that brings us to number 3, which might seem obvious, but it trips people up all the time. Text-based content.
Ah, so we're ditching those fancy PDFs with all the bells and whistles, stick to plain old text documents.
Exactly. Look, ATS systems are getting smarter all the time, but they still work best with plain text. They can grab the information easily, match those keywords when it's presented nice and clean, no roadblocks from fancy formatting.
Speaking of keywords, that takes us to Amit's fourth point, and I'm guessing this one's a biggie. Using the right keywords.
This is where the strategy comes in. Remember, the ATS is on the hunt for specific skills and experiences, the ones that match up with what's in the job description. It's almost like you've got to solve a puzzle, figure out exactly which keywords are going to unlock the door, so to speak.
So if the job description is all about project management and data analysis, we want to make sure those phrases are front and center in our resumes.
Bingo! And Amit's got a great tip for this. Use a word cloud tool. You just pop the text from the job description into one of those tools online, and boom, it'll show you the words that pop up most often. Those are your golden tickets.
Now, that is handy. It's like the ATS is giving us a cheat sheet if we know where to look.
Exactly. Now, point number 5 is all about how we present those accomplishments, and it's all about the numbers. Amit calls it quantifying achievements. Instead of just saying you improved sales, tell that ATS you increased sales by 20% in 6 months. Give them something concrete.
Because numbers tell a story, right? They add that extra oomph, that credibility. Anyone can say they did something, but numbers prove it.
100%. Now, the 6th and final element Amit talks about is making sure your resume is easy on the eyes, even for a computer program. So stick with a nice, clean font, Arial, Times New Roman, something like that. Readable size, like 11 or 12 points. No need to get too fancy.
So to recap, we've got those 6 key ingredients. Clear formatting, standard headings, text-based content, those magic keywords, quantified achievements, and an easy-to-read font. That's our foundation for an ATS-friendly resume. But didn't Amit mention there's a little more to it than just those basics?
You're on top of it. He's definitely not done yet. He says those 6 elements are crucial for getting past that initial screening, but they only make up about 60% of what makes a resume really sing.
So there's another 40% we got to figure out. Now, this is where it gets really interesting.
Well, absolutely. He digs into some really insightful strategies for fine-tuning that remaining 40%. Like he talks about how important it is to tailor your resume for each specific job. No more generic templates, folks. We got to step up our game.
It's like baking a cake, right? We can have all the best ingredients in the world, but if we don't put them together the right way, if we don't follow the recipe, it's not going to win any baking contests.
Exactly. And one of the things Amit points out is that a lot of times, even job seekers who are really good at highlighting their skills and experience,
Yeah.
they kind of bury the lead. They'll have these impressive achievements, but they're like hidden within their work experience, not presented in a way that screams, look at this.
So it's not enough to just sprinkle in those key words. We got to make sure they're attached to real results, concrete achievements that show we can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
You got it. Amit talks about this strategy he calls front-loading your accomplishments. Instead of just listing out your responsibilities for a job and then maybe mentioning some successes at the end, he says, weave those successes into the very fabric of your experience. Focus on what you achieved, not just what you did.
Okay, so instead of saying, oh, I managed a team of 5 sales reps, we might say something like, led a team of 5 sales reps to exceed quarterly goals by 15%, resulting in the highest revenue growth in the entire department. Something like that.
Now you're getting it. By structuring your experience this way, you're not only showing off your accomplishments to a human reader, you're making it super easy for the ATS to connect those keywords, exceeded goals, revenue growth, to those tangible results. It's like you're speaking the ATS's language, and you're doing it in a way that highlights your value right off the bat.
It's like giving the ATS what it wants before it even knows it wants it.
Precisely. And it just goes to show how much strategy is involved in creating a resume that really works in today's job market. It's not just about listing out your skills anymore. It's about understanding how to package and present them in a way that resonates with both the humans and the algorithms making those hiring decisions.
It's like a whole new ballgame out there.
It really is. And the more we talk about ATS, the more I realize how important it is to stay curious, to keep learning about the latest trends and strategies. What we've covered today is a great foundation, but the job market is always changing, and ATS technology is evolving right along with it.
It's like anything else. The more we understand how it works, the better equipped we are to navigate it successfully. So, as you're working on your resumes, remember those 6 key elements. Clear formatting, standard headings, text-based content, those all-important keywords, quantified achievements, and an easy-to-read font. And don't forget those bonus strategies like front-loading your accomplishments to really highlight your value.
Well said. And maybe most importantly, approach the process with a sense of curiosity and a willingness to learn. The job search can feel intimidating, but with the right knowledge and strategies, you can stack the odds in your favor and land that dream job.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of ATS-friendly resumes. We hope you found it helpful.